Hey everyone, I'm Dragon Raider, Queen of Cards, and it's time to talk about Hearthstone's newest expansion. That's right, we're getting another expansion. It was just announced, and that is going to be Perils in Paradise. So a very kind of summery, beachy themed type of expansion. Right before this expansion is coming out, or to set up for it, we are going to be getting patch 29.6. Now, this is coming out, and this is where we are going to be able to pre-purchase this new expansion, be able to get the login reward that they always have. So that is all to set up for this. So Marin the Manager, a new neutral legendary 7-mana 6/6 pirate. Battlecry, choose a fantastic treasure, shuffle the other 3 into your deck. This is the free login that everyone will get once this patch comes out, and that will be available for everyone. Then we have the fact that Gen and Baku are returning to core. So those are going to be in the core set. It's only going to be from this patch 29.6 until the launch of the new expansion on July 23rd. So about a month that we'll have Gen and Baku back in standard and wild formats to play. So that will definitely, I think, shake things up a little bit. Then in Battlegrounds, buddies are back in Battlegrounds. That was kind of already talked about. There was a little bit of info in a Battlegrounds preview blog, but those buddies are going to be back. And this is also going to set up for this next event, which is Midsummer Fire Festival. You'll be able to get up to 6 Whizbang packs and a V07 Tron Rogue hero skin. So a Voltron hero skin for Rogue. And for the Twist season for July, they are adding 9 additional heroes to go with the already large set that they have. So there is going to be quite a few. These are based on having the legendary in your collection to be able to use this hero in that Twist format. The first one that's entering is Marin the Manager. So again, everybody gets that for free when you log in. So you'll have that legendary card in your collection. You'll be able to play Marin the Manager in the Twist format. They're also introducing Lady Liadrin, Sargeras the Destroyer, Elite Tauren Champion, Halvaria Dark Raven, Heartbreaker Hadonis, Thorim Stormlord, and Queen Ashara, along with Tamsin Rome. Then there's a couple of other important things that are happening with this patch, and one of those is that diamond cards are going to be able to be disenchanted unless they're ones that were like specially granted, like if you got them from the rewards track. You can't disenchant those, so if they normally say you can't disenchant like the other ones, then you won't be able to disenchant the diamond version. But for some people that want to do that, you can disenchant those diamond versions of cards for the same amount of dust that you would if you disenchanted a gold version. Now, an important update for matchmaking, the ranked ladder was previously kind of based on MMR and your star bonus. So the way that it worked before was if you had a star bonus, we'll use legend as an example because it's an easy number, which is 10, then you would have a star bonus that would kind of count down the farther up ladder you progressed. And once you got to diamond 5, then your star bonus would run out. And then from diamond 5 up until legend, you would be paired against anyone at that rank. That is no longer going to be the case. Now what's going to happen is that you will now face someone who also had the 10-star bonus, regardless if you have your bonus stars at that point or not. So if you're a legend player, you've gotten to diamond 5 and your star bonus runs out, then you will still be getting paired against players who also had a 10-star bonus. You're no longer going to be paired against anyone that's at diamond 5 or diamond 4 up until that point. So it's all just going to be based on that kind of like star bonus MMR rating. No matter what your star bonus was, no matter where you're at on ladder, it's all going to be uniform and the same across all of ladder and ranked. So that's pretty helpful for people to know, just so that they know they're not going to be paired up against somebody who is totally not their skill level. I think this also just makes the climb, no matter what time of the month it is, no matter when you're making this climb, it just means you're going to be paired against people who are of your same level throughout that entire climb, through all of your games. So there's not going to be any sort of kind of wall that you hit, or you're not going to be facing against a bunch of people who are just at their limit and they're just playing wacky decks. You're going to be paired against somebody who's at that same level as you are. So hopefully it should make for a smoother kind of climb and more consistent and fair games. Then the last thing is the passive experience that you get for just playing games. So this is part of their efforts to combat bots and different play patterns that kind of exploit things. So if you are someone who just is logged in and has the game running and you're sitting in some game mode, just letting the rope burn or just letting things time out, then the experience that you get is going to be significantly reduced for that. So what they want is for you to actually make actions. You actually have to take actions, whether that is playing a card, doing an attack, hitting the end turn button, using a hero power, anything like that is going to be considered an action. And that will still get you the same XP, but if you are just sitting there letting things happen, you're going to get significantly less XP. All right, now let's dive into info about the expansion itself, Perils in Paradise. So yes, these are some drafts of this, but yep. All right. So Marin has put up the questing days and has started a resort. Manager of a resort here, and getting to some Spiral Isles, Azeroth's new vacation getaway. All right, so coming July 23rd with 145 new cards, and of course there's going to be the whole reveal season coming soon, starting with a handful of cards that we get to see with this initial reveal. So, as always, with a new expansion, there's a new keyword. And the new keyword for this is tourist. So each class is going to get one legendary tourist card, and that will let them vacation to another class during deck building. So these cards will say on them a different class and then tourist. So we'll take a deeper look at these, but when you put this card into your deck during deck building, it will then kind of open up a little option for you to put those other class cards just from this set only, the other class cards into your deck as well. So, for example, the first card is Sunsapper Lanessa. She's a Paladin legendary 5 mana 2/6, says Rogue Tourist, and your spells that cost 2 or less cast twice. So when you put her into your Paladin deck, you will get the option to add Rogue cards from specifically this Perils in Paradise expansion into your deck as well, and play them just as if they were normally allowed to be played in that Paladin deck. The next card here is Buttons. This is the Death Knight legendary tourist card. He's a 5 mana 5/5 undead shaman tourist. Battlecry, draw a spell of each spell school. So yes, he's a Death Knight card, goes into your Death Knight deck, and then you'll get to add shaman cards from this Perils in Paradise expansion into that Death Knight deck. And there's a couple of additional new things here for the expansion as well, and that is drinks. Drinks are coming, and these are going to be very similar in how they play to things like the bananas or barrel of monkeys, where they will have 3 kind of uses. And once you use it, it will put the next version with a different art into your hand. So we have here a Shaman Drink Malted Magma. This is a 2-cost fire spell. Deal 1 damage to all enemies. 3 drinks left. So it shows 3 drinks. After you play that, you'll get the 2-drink version. Then you'll get the 1-drink version that says last drink. And you have essentially 3 AoEs that will deal 1 damage to all enemies. There's also some destinations, because of course this is a vacation, so some locations here that they are adding. We see here a druid location, Hiking Trail. This is a 3 mana location with 3 uses or 3 durability. It says discover a taunt minion. After you gain armor, reopen this. So you potentially could use this in the same turn, or you can be able to use a location once a turn, instead of having to wait every other turn like locations typically work. So this is pretty interesting. You could use all 3 uses in one turn if you were to use this to discover a taunt, gain some armor, and then it reopens, then you use it again, gain more armor, and then so on. You can do it all in one turn. You can spread it out over consecutive turns, or you can just let it run its usual course like a location does and have it opened every other turn. So just again, Marin the Manager is a 7 mana 6/6 pirate. Battlecry, choose a fantastic treasure, shuffle the other 3 into your deck. So what are these fantastic treasures? The first one is Golden Kobold. This is a 3 mana 6/6 taunt. Battlecry, replace your hand with legendary minions. The second is Wondrous Wand, a 3 mana spell. Draw 3 cards, reduce their cost to 0. The third is Toland's Goblet, a 3 mana spell. Draw a card, fill your hand with copies of it. And the fourth is Zarog's Crown, a 3 mana spell. Discover a legendary minion, summon 2 copies of it. So you get the option between all 4 of those cards. You get to pick one, and the other 3 will be shuffled into your deck. Pretty powerful and good, and you also get that body of Marin himself, so not bad. Then, next up, just another card that we have here. We get a little treat. It's a Corpsicle. Okay, so Death Knight's getting a Corpsicle here. It's a 2 mana, 1 frost rune frost spell that says deal 3 damage, spend 3 corpses to return this to your hand at the end of your turn. Okay, so you can return this to your hand if you want to spend those corpses. Seems pretty cool, and for 2 mana, dealing 3 damage that you get to pick where it goes seems pretty great. Then we have some neutrals here. A lot of these cards also revealed from the video. So we have Travel Agent. This is a 2 mana 2/2. Battlecry, discover a location from any class. So pretty important there, the wording that says it's from any class. Usually discover is just between the class you're playing and neutrals, but of course there's not really a lot of options. So this will broaden the options that you have for locations. We have AFK, a legendary neutral. She is 5 mana 0/5. At the end of your turn, give all other friendly minions that didn't attack +2/+2. So I really like this card, honestly. I think this is super fun. It's kind of encouraging you to actually kind of go AFK with your other minions. Just let them sit there and not do anything. You know, they're on vacation. Let them chill. But the payoff for having a board that then gets added stats if they didn't attack could pay dividends depending on what's going on in the deck. You know, if you have a small-bodied minion, a 1/1 or something, don't even bother attacking with it, and then all of a sudden it's a 3/3 minion. This is also kind of interesting with things like totems or some of those, like a toy chest or things that don't initially have attack, mystery egg, all of those that didn't attack. Then all of a sudden they get +2/+2 in stats and they can attack, they can trigger their death rattles, or just be able to kind of be, a hefty body on the board that your opponent has to answer. So I actually think AFK is pretty interesting, and we'll see what people decide to try out and play with AFK. Then we have Drink Server, a 2-mana 2/2 Murloc Pirate with Death Rattle. Get a random drink spell, and it has 3 uses. So there are going to be 6 drink spells, and there should be 6 of those locations. I believe there's one class that has both, but most of the classes will have one or the other. So we already saw a drink for Shaman, and we saw the location for the Druid. So this is going to be get a random drink spell. So there should only be 6 options there for you to get. Not bad. Then we have Weapons Attendant. This is a 6-mana 6/4 pirate. Battlecry, if you control another pirate, equip a random weapon from your deck. So the fact that it gets equipped straight from your deck is pretty significant, honestly. And because you can build your deck in a way where you only have maybe 1 or 2 specific weapons, you know exactly what weapon you're going to get. And it seems pretty easy to control another pirate, especially because there are some really cheap pirates. So Weapons Attendant itself is a little bit costly at 6, and there is the requirement of having to have a weapon in your deck, plus a pirate on the board. But for the payoff, I think this is going to be a pretty significant card for pirate decks. And speaking of more weapons, the next one we have is Volley Maul. This is a paladin weapon. It's a 3-mana, 3-attack, 2 durability weapon that says after your hero attacks, get a 1-cost sunscreen that gives +1/+2. Alright, so just a little 1-cost buff, +1/+2 for 1 mana seems pretty nice. And you should be able to choose wherever that goes, so you'd be able to hit with this weapon a couple of times, get a couple of buffs that you can target, and Paladin likes those buffs and likes to target things with spells, so I imagine this one will probably be pretty dang good, and it's decently costed and statted. Then we have Petty Theft. This is a rogue card. It's a 2-mana spell. Get 2 random 1-cost spells from other classes. Rogue is already kind of wanting to do this, and this seems good. You kind of know that they're also going to be cheap 1-cost spells because you specifically only get 1-cost spells that you can also use with Sonya. And yeah, I don't know. This card seems pretty great. This is definitely a tool that Rogue would like to use. And the last one we have is a Shaman minion here. We have Cabaret Headliner. This is a beautiful piece of art, by the way. I love this art. It's like a really colorful coral reef minion type. I love it. So it's a 4-mana 3/3 Naga with Battlecry. Reduce the cost of a spell of each school in your hand by 2. So this is now the second card that we've seen, I think, that kind of addresses different spell schools. So it does look like they're trying to give some different classes some spell school synergies. And I'd imagine that probably also means that in this set, maybe in the future coming couple of sets as well, probably mini set, that we're likely to see some added spells that have different spell schools in them as well. So, for the stat line, you're paying a little bit more, but the potential of multiple spells being discounted by 2 could be a huge payoff depending on how your deck is built and your kind of what you've drawn for the hand. Plus, this is a Naga, and there might be potential Naga synergy. So I think this one's really interesting and one I'm going to be keeping my eye on. And that is all of the cards that have been revealed so far for this new expansion, Perils in Paradise. There are some pre-orders, of course. They are not doing any sort of like early access card as they did before. So that was like a one-time thing that they tried out, but not this time. So you will be able to get those pre-orders. Of course, the regular bundle that has the 60 packs or the 80 mega bundle that has golden packs, 80 plus, a bunch of other little bonuses. So again, those should be live with the patch that just came out, but I'm curious to know what you think of this expansion. Do any of these cards or these like tourists or drinks seem interesting to you? And what about the ability to reopen those locations with some synergies? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one.